followed by sharing the screen for all of us, and then coming back to our master chart, because master chart is the one which will bring us back onto the track. This was the whole thing. So Sanjeev, this is how we go about daily. Whatever we are doing is actually made available on one of the website there, which is here. If you look at it, these people have this link, so it is new for you but not for them. So we find that all the classes which are done and all that thing are available here in the form of recording, Sanjeev. And it is, the purpose is obviously that by any chance, due to some work, if you miss any of the session, it is there. And today happens to be 8th of September, which is the session number 10. Session number 10 is what we are going to start today. Today we must finish quality resources and mostly communication, a very small chapter. So these three, if we are able to finish today, yesterday we didn't had that class because of the Ganesh Chaturthi, and then 14th, mostly the last day, where we will be covering risk, procurement, and a small chapter called as stakeholder. So that's what is the agenda for next two sessions, which are the last one for this, and then we will be coming to a stop there. So begin with, as usual, we quickly do a very quick recap on quality part of it, which we just started there, but we still spoke very important thing. But before I go and do a little deeper recap on the quality, it's very important to have a look at where are we with respect to overall code. And this chart, which is nothing else but a transpose of your page 64, will help you to understand where are we with respect to the overall book, and that's what is there. So let me go ahead and tell you while I'm just setting up the pen to be written onto this. So begin with was our integration. Whole of the integration we finished. Scope, schedule, and cost. Basically, these are the processes which are there to help us build the scope baseline, the schedule baseline, and the cost baseline. These three baselines became part of the project plan. These 9 subsidiary plans became the part of the project plan. Quality is something which will be, doing today, as well as this whole thing called as the resource. However, as you know, all the plan processes we have covered to a great extent because it creates a strategy about how do you do it. However, in plan quality management, we will go deeper into that process as well because it has some specific important things. So this is what we are going to do today, and this is what we are going to do, and mostly this will also. On the next Saturday, it will be risk, procurement, and a small chapter called as stakeholder. So that's how it is there. Now you would get wondered saying that, we are in the 10th session, and in 10th session we are here. We only traveled so much so far, and so much of a travel, how we are going to do? It is because of the repetition. There is a huge repetition. Lot of base things I always, cover in the first one. So those things you are now familiar with that particular book. So our speed in this second part is slightly higher, and that's how it is there for traditions. For example, for so many batches, we will find that it is the similar thing. So now coming back to our chapter, which was called as quality. This we have already seen. Plan quality management. You decide two things: what is going to be your strategy about your processes, and what is your going to be about product. Both the things are covered in the quality. If you want to actually go ahead and convert this into a scenario, I would say that there was an auditor who came and asked project manager Kiran, saying that, Kiran, can you show me how are you following all the processes? Can you show me that where are your templates and are you following all those templates? When Kiran was actually answering, look at it, this could be converted into a very smart scenario. And in that, they might say that the Kiran as the project manager went ahead and said, before that, I want to show you something. The auditor said that, welcome, show me whatever is there. He showed the deliverables for last 6 months. He showed several mails which were actually demonstrating that customer was very happy with the deliverable. He also showed that all the deliverables were done exactly on timeline. The quality parameters were there. So he asked auditor, how does he feel? Auditor said that, brilliant, this is good, Kiran. So he said that, now why do you want to check this template and all that thing? This could be the scenario. Basically, what I am trying to drive is that even if your product is brilliant, does not mean that your processes will automatically get passed. The processes need to be audited. For example, how are you selecting people? Are you giving required training to them? Are you creating appropriate documentation? These things are process compliances which need to be there. Similarly, product. If you go ahead and follow all the process compliances and then say that I don't care how the product is, it's not acceptable. Product also will have to be checked. Plan quality management process decides the parameters about how are you going to measure, check, audit the processes. About product, it says what are the parameters on which you will check the product, what frequency you will check the product, who will pass it and all that. So planning both these things, planning the process and planning the product is done in the plan quality management. Manage quality out of these two concentrates more on the processes. It actually speaks about how the processes are being followed. So, the thing called as an audit will come into the picture, because the purpose of audit is to check whether your processes are compliant. Why are we checking process compliance? Because we have a hope. Remember this word I'm saying. We have a hope that if I follow the right processes, product is going to be good. Remember, it is still a hope. It is not a guarantee. You might follow all the processes and still the product could be bad. But if your processes are not good, then there is not even a hope that your product is going to be good. So audit is checking the processes. Control quality, as you know, is the monitoring and control. Once the products are ready, if you go ahead and look at our master chart, you will realize that once the deliverables are ready here, deliverables, they are offered to control quality. This guy will take it, test it internally, yourself, your own team, not customer. It is not the time to offer it to the customer. You need to be satisfied. And there it will become verified deliverables, which means your team is happy with these deliverables. Once it is there, you will go with validate the scope, where you will show it to the customer and customer will call it as accepted deliverable. And that will be your exit gate to close the project and fix. So that's the whole journey. Manage quality, sorry, the control quality is that. That's where you are doing. So that we have seen this chart and I explained it to you. So no way, this is more of a repetition rather than, just the recap rather than the repetition. The quality management methods are different for different industry. We spoke about that life, limb type of risk. If it is there, if someone's life is in danger because of the products, what you are going to use, the quality parameters, the quality testings and all that thing is going to be very, very expensive there. I think it was the Boeing who did not do good testing. Was that the example? Yes, currently in the media, there is a big thing going on. Boeing, was that correct, friends? I mean, does that Anushri ji?
Yes, sir.
And what's that? Boeing wala case currently which is going on?
Sir, sorry, I am out of
Yeah.
touch.
Yes, anyone? I'm sure you would be knowing, friends. Testing अच्छा नहीं किया. And life and limb. That jet which was going to bring Sunita Williams and one more astronaut from there
Okay. I know that. Yeah, that I know.
actually failed. It failed to bring back. Now look at it. This is what is called as life and limb. This means the type of testing which is required when life and limb is there has to be extremely well. I'm just not blaming them. It was obviously that company is certainly good, but anyway, I mean these type of projects are not done every now and then, so maybe because of that. That's not the purpose. What I'm trying to say is that when life and limb is coming into the picture, testing becomes more complicated, and that's what it is trying to say. Not meeting quality requirement has will create satisfaction. Quality and grade, we have seen that car example, a high end car versus a low end car. Quality has to be good, grades are okay. Then prevention preferred over the inspection. We are trying to say that increasing number of testing, doing more rigorous testing is not going to improve the quality of the thing. It is only going to prevent a product being shipped to the customer. That's the thing. So your focus should be prevented. In first place, follow the processes, implement the tools, give the training, whatever you can do it. Don't create a bad product. And having, created a brilliant product, that does not mean that you will not do inspection. Inspection is required, but relatively out of these two, give more focus to the prevention rather than inspection. This is not as same as, in English, they say that prevention is better than cure. It is, in fact, it is one step even before that. It says that prevention is preferred over inspection, so that, you need not have to do inspection. No, they are not saying that you don't do it, but what they are trying to say, invest time, money into prevention so that you don't create a bad product there, and then do the inspection. I mean, they are not saying that you should not do the testing. It say that, however, you will find all good results there. Project team needs to have a reasonable knowledge of statistical control. Deepmala, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here, sir.
Yeah. So this for the PMP preparation, is that a project?
Yes.
And what is the inspection there? Anyone
Mock
can help
test.
Deepmala?
Mock,
Mock
mock
tests.
test.
Correct. Correct. So was that who? It was Anushri who said mock test.
It's
No,
Deepmala.
that was Deepmala only.
Good.
I was about to say, but then she said it already.
So good inspection. अब इसमें prevention क्या होगा फिर?
Preparation.
Preparations. So what they are saying, preparation is more important than the mock tests. So is it saying that you should not be doing mock tests?
No, mock tests are equally important as prevention. I mean, prevention and inspection both are equally important.
But very clearly, if that translate Deepmala, I will translate it in such a way, I will say that don't unnecessarily hurry through the mock test. Preparation pehla karo, and then do the mock test. You will mostly clear those very clearly. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Rather than solving probably, 6,000 mock questions. I'm not saying papers, mock questions. And then, refining the thing in such a way that final last, last whatever 1,000 question, you reached around 75%. So Kiran goes ahead and books the exam. Rather than that, what these people are saying, ki aisa mat karo, study more and solve only 2,000. What will happen in this 2,000 itself? Last 1,000 you will reach that 75%. And in the process, ye jo extra wastage tha, that wastage will get. We took very funny example here about this prevention is prepared for the inspection, but this is applicable for all the industries what we have seen it there. We have seen it already, something called as a, attribute sampling, variable sampling. Attribute sampling is where we have seen it, that you get the result only as yes or no, while variable sampling, you get the results as, and that's where, if you recollect, I was giving you an example about, some table where there is a go, no go sort of holes and all that. So that was, the thing. If you have missed that, go through that recording positively. We have seen something called as a, tolerance and control limits, and that's what we have seen it. And so on. So that was our, purpose there. So yes, so this was, where we actually stopped last time. Hi, Mahesh K. I mean, Mahesh Kumawat as well as Mahesh Kadam, both of you. Hi, welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And morning, Santosh. Santosh.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I think you had some trouble in joining because you're trying to log in for quite some time, correct?
Yes, I was trying.
No problem. Good. So welcome. We are just doing a quick recap, Santosh and Mahesh.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, this control limits and, the, the tolerances. Do you recollect? There were two words which we spoke. USL, LSL, do you recollect that?
Yeah, specification limits and control limits.
Yes, Ravi says upper and lower specification limits, upper and lower control limits. Does everyone recollect it as Ravi did? Which out of these is given by the customer?
Specification limits.
specification limits are given by the customer. That's what Ravi believes. Everyone agrees to him or no? And Ravi, control limits are, which one is more stringent? Control limit or specifications?
Control limits are within the specification limits.
Correct. They are more stringent, they are more tight. And the purpose is, what is the purpose?
To control the outputs and to be within the specification limits.
Control quality.
Control quality. Basically, Prince, what happens even if you end up creating one bad product in between, what does it mean is that it will be alerted when it crosses the control limit. And that will give you an opportunity to rectify. You don't end up creating a defective product because your control limits are more stringent. Look at this example. It says that there was some component, 40 millimeter diameter was, the expected, and this is called as a mean size. And this mean size which was there, customer said that I will take anything which is up to 41 and 39. The difference between these two is called as the tolerance. If tolerances tend to be more tight, obviously the cost of the product increases because the process need to be better, machine need to be better, raw material need to be better, environment need to be better. The 40 here is expressed as 40 plus or minus 1. So 40 plus or minus 1 is how it is specified here. Okay. Now, there was another, probably customer, and he said that I also want 40. He was asking that what can you accept? He went ahead and said that 40.2 and 38.8. Now, obviously, this same 40 millimeter bottle, which he is selling it to this customer, he will sell it cheaper. This one will be expensive. For a simple reason is that, he will have to use better machinery, he will have to use better raw material. The consistency has to be there, more stringent checkup. So wherever tolerances actually gets reduced, you get a better quality, but obviously it comes at a cost. So whatever is possible for you based on the thing, and I don't know if I recollect, but I would have said that if you are going to use some component for, for making a toy, it will have probably fairly, lenient tolerances. If you are going to use it for making a car, it's going to be still stringent. If you are going to use the same component for making an aircraft, tolerances are going to be much tighter there because, and obviously the cost there. So that's what is here. 40, 41 is upper specification, lower specification. The engineer went ahead and actually specified the control limit as 40.8, 40.8 and 39 point whatever, equivalent 3, let's say. That's what he has gone ahead and specified here. And he has drawn two lines in, in this particular zone there. Now, what happens here, if you look at it, this chart is called as the control chart. It is drawn with a time shown onto the x-axis. So the moment in the morning shift, machinery starts from 8 a.m., 8:10, 8:20, 8:30, and so on. They have kept it here. The parts which are created, such machines end up creating hundreds of parts every, hour. So the one sample which is created recently will be taken at 8 o'clock, and the diameter will be checked and it will be marked here. Then 8:10, then 8:20. That's how this whole line is getting drawn there. This type of chart is called as the control chart. Now, the advantage of this chart is that it is showing you the trend there. This trend, if you find that sometimes if this line is continuously going up, which means this is heading for, this is going to be excess size. Very soon this process is going to create an excessive size there. If you find a trend like that, which is actually which is a prospect, probably a bad news, saying that if I don't do anything down the line, it will start creating smaller bottles there or smaller components there. So that's the advantage of control chart. It will allow you to predict the future. It will allow you to. Another thing is that whenever it crosses the control limit, the biggest advantage you get is that the part which is created here is still not a defective part as per the customer because it is well within 41. These parts are not defective, but they will give you an alert saying that I need to do something by which I will rectify this process. That's what he is, trying to say. So that is advantage of control chart. Control chart may you need to have some things you need to understand. And one theory is called as a 7-point theory. It is called as 7-point theory. What is this 7-point theory? Remember, friends, if any point out of this goes out of the control limit, the engineer is supposed to be stopping that process and go ahead and investigate why has that gone out. Remember, it has not created defective part. It is actually going to stop it and rectify it in such a way that the process becomes more stable. It creates the parts which are more close to the mean. That is obviously known. But apart from that, there is one more rule. They say that if there are 7 points, consecutive 7 points, they are either above the mean or all are below the mean. Either all 7 are above the mean or all 7 are below the mean. Again, you need to stop the process, irrespective whether it is in control limit or not. Why? Any guess? Sanju, could you hear this? Because I think you logged off accidentally. Sanju? Is this graph?
Yes,
ये
sir,
graph आपको familiar है?
Yes, this is familiar to me.
This chart you know, isn't it? So Sanju, they are
Yes.
saying that कि एक point अगर if it goes beyond the control limit, you need to stop the process and rectify क्या हो रहा है. But I am saying that there is another theory. It is called as 7-point. They say that if there are 7 consecutive points which are above the mean or below the mean, even there you need to stop the thing. Remember, you have not crossed the control limit. Why? Anyone can help. Sanjeev, I was just trying because he has some manufacturing background. I think it is Abhijit or
So
Amit.
if it is above the control line or below the control line,
वो तो जाएगा
it
ही.
means that the parts are
Please.
means there is some change in process or maybe some change in for example, if it is a machining component, then there is some change in process. Maybe the tool is blunt, right?
Correct.
So
Something of
bulge
that
or
nature.
something like that. So if it is crossing upper control line, so soon it will cross the
Per specification.
USL also, right?
Correct, exactly.
Upper
So,
specification.
Sanjeev, that is
So this
correct.
is the
That's the so everyone got this feeling. I mean, what Sanjeev is saying, friends. Aniruddha, are you from manufacturing background? Aniruddha, are you?
Yeah, yes, Sanjay, sorry.
You knew, you have seen this chart, isn't it?
Yeah, I had seen this.
Okay. See, typically here, one important thing, friends, try to understand. It is, as Sanjeev is saying, if it crosses upper limit or, upper control limit or lower control, both, either lower size or higher size, there has, something has gone. You need to immediately stop it because if you continue, you are going to cross that. But this theory says that even if you have not crossed it, and 7 points are all above the mean, are all above the mean like this, or 7 points are all below the mean. It has not crossed it. 7 consecutive point. Now they said stop it. Now why is that? Try to understand this. The purpose of it. It says that see typically tolerance is given because there is a natural variation in the process. There is a natural variation, and if it is a natural variation in something, you will realize that first part could be either above or below the mean. Second also could be consecutively, and first was above, second is above, third was above is okay. 7 times it is always above. It has never gone down below, which means there is the whole setup is actually set at the higher side. It could be also on the lower side. If I want to actually go ahead and give an example about it, saying that your office starts at 9 a.m. Let's say 9 a.m. Correct? Now, and because of your nature of your work and whatever, it is said that you can enter in the office at 9 a.m. to 9:10 a.m. because there are sometimes traffic jam, sometimes buses get late, whatever. That's the reason for which it is there. Now, friends, that you would be typically reaching, for you, if you are targeting to reach at 9 a.m., you'll be reaching at 9:01, 2 minutes past, 3 minutes past. कभी कभी 2 मिनट पहले, कभी कभी 3 मिनट पहले. That's how it will be there. Is that correct, friends? Yes, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Abhi, if you say that there is one person who is never coming, even 7 consecutive days, he never reached before 9. He always reached, 9, 5, 9, 7, 9, 10, well within 9, 10, but he never reached before 9, which means his process is set to be on the higher side. He will have to do something about it. Because if there is a natural variation, at least once in a 7 consecutive points, one of them will be either above or below. Is that making sense? Yes. So if it means 8:40 का ट्रेन पकड़ने के जगह, now you will have to start catching 8:37 train, which means थोड़ा पहले निकलना पड़ेगा. That is the thing called as a 7-point theory, which is there. So 7-point theory is there and control limit. One more thing, they say that, the variation, or last time we have seen it, standard deviation is said to be max minus mean whole thing divided by 6 is the standard deviation. Higher the standard deviation, which means the process is unstable. Lower the standard deviation, the process is more stable, is what. This is the theory. Sometimes you might come. I'm sure you would have seen this diagram called as a fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram, or also called as cause and effect diagram. 3 names to the same diagram used for root cause analysis. If you believe, for example, here I have done it for a very odd thing, saying that a lot of accidents happening onto the highway. Now you need to go ahead and identify, let's see, is it because of the driver's fault? Is it because of the pathetic or bad vehicles? Is it because of the bad roads, or is it because of the regulatory bodies like the police? Are they at fault? And then they have gone ahead and given a sub reasons. For example, is it drivers are rash drivers? Is it that they are drunk? Are they the one without the licenses? In terms of vehicles, is it because of the old vehicles? Is it because vehicles are not old but they are not maintained well? So sub causes. And then, down the line, go ahead and say it. So for example, why are we learning this particular 7, this scatter diagram? Sorry, fishbone diagram or cause and effect? It says that when you are investigating the poor quality, you need to go ahead, and it will not be that, it is just because of the developer who is lazy, this is a poor quality. It will be always a result of multiple things, a pathetic or bad tool, less experienced developers. It could be also because of unclear specifications, so many things there. While investigating, such a thing will be there. Wherever there is a word called as a RCA, root cause analysis, you should be using this and drawing it, which will later help. Remember, you cannot go ahead and sort all the problems, but you'll have to then go ahead and say that which one is contributing maximum. You'll have to probably go ahead and take, the data of 500 accidents, last 500 accidents, and attribute, saying that because of which, what was the reason. I mean, in one thing, it was because of rash driving. Another one was speed breaker was bad. There was one where the vehicle was too old. Go ahead and statistically collect that data, and then you do that. But in the first place, to come up with maximum ideas, all possible root causes, this would be used. And then you will be using, यहाँ दिया है क्या मैंने, नहीं, but I will come here and Pareto. Pareto diagram is called as a 80-20, which says that, that it is normally seen anywhere. If you go ahead and look at it here, you will realize that 80% of the issues in anything are coming up because of the 20% causes. 20% causes results into 80% damage. So if you go ahead and concentrate on these 20, you will find that the gravity of the issue will reduce drastically. For example, when you came back on this chart, and there are so many things here, so many causes because of which these 500 accident occurred. Take all those 500 and list down which is contributing to max. And maybe this chart, when you are doing, you'll realize that maximum things are coming because of the drunk drivers. Then next one is because, the bad roads. Then comes, probably poor vehicles and whatnot. You go ahead and put it in descending order. Now, what is the theory? It says that if you go ahead and take care of first 1 or 2 causes, the accidents, number of accidents will reduce by 80%. Only 20% causes will reduce by 80%. If you try to rectify all the issues in one go, you will not be able to implement anything. You will not reach anywhere. And this is called as the Pareto. So typically what I am trying to say, the extension of this next for doing the actions on the quality parameter would be the Pareto. Scatter diagram is another thing. I have again taken the similar example here, but I can tell you a different example. Let's say, if you forget about this data, let's say that, these are the three things, age of driver and all that thing, ye nikal do. Don't think of this. Take an example about, there are a lot of defects. Lot of defects are seen into, the deliverables. Your team is delivering something and there are so many times customer complaints, so many defects there and all that thing. Now you are puzzled saying that why is this happening? Why so many? So again, you'll have to go ahead and probably collect 1,000 defects which were noticed in last whatever 1 year, and then go ahead and put it into the two things. One, now here it is, let's say, experience of the developer. Experience of the developer. Here you go ahead and say that experience of the tester, how they are testing, because you are doing internal testing and sending it to the customer, and still you are finding the complaints, customer complaints are coming. So experience of the tester. And in the third one, you go ahead and say, requirement capture time. Why? Because requirement capture, if you do it at a detail level, the defects could reduce. It is obviously possible. You never know whether it is so. Requirement capture time there. So that's how you need to go ahead and then go ahead and put number of. So for example, the developer having 2 years experience, so many, times it happened. Experience have a 3-year experience, so many defects came, and so on. Similarly, for that particular release, testers experience and so on. Now, what will happen? You will find that all these dots here, sometimes you might get a band like this, which means this is called as a negative correlation. When X is increasing, Y is decreasing. Now, if you take this example, it said that age of the driver and number of accident is negatively correlated. If this data is right, I'm not saying this is random. This is not really right data, or this doesn't have any basis. What it is trying to say? It is saying that the older the driver, less are the chances of they making an accident. Remember, whenever you are there, friends, you will realize that there would be some point like this. For example, this is older enough, but there are more accidents. Now, why is that? These type of things are called as outliers. Have you heard this word in the statistics? Outliers. Has someone heard this word outlier?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct, Aniruddha Deepmala. Outlier, which means, it is not following the trend.
Yes.
You need to
Yeah.
increase, ignore the outliers, Deepmala, correct?
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
you can't,
exceptions, right?
they are sort of an exception. So you
Yes.
can't make so while making the rule, you will have to go ahead and, ignore outliers. So this is how it is there. If you take this type of graph, it says it's a positive correlation. When X is increasing, Y is increasing. If you go ahead and use this inference here, it said that the older the vehicle, more the accidents. As I told you, not necessarily this is a, this is the right data. This is only to show you how does it work. And now sometimes you might get a pattern like this. This is called as unrelated. Unrelated. It is, when you have gone ahead, you realize that there are quite often very fast vehicles and still accidents are low. Sometimes there are slower vehicles also, there are accidents. So these are unrelated. So related, unrelated, and, related and positively correlation, negative correlation. These type of things would be drawn from the scatter diagram. So basically when you want to identify multiple reasons are there and one result is there, which one is attributing there, you can actually go ahead and study it by scatter diagram. So that's the scatter diagram. This I'm sure you would be knowing. This is called as PDCA, plan, do, check, and act. Basically, for example, Sanjeev, are you there with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am aware of all these.
You are aware of it. So
Yes.
we'll try to understand, taking Sanjeev's example. Sanjeev actually, wish to go ahead and implement a lot of these project management principles and all that thing into his own work. And for that, he thought that maybe multiple things need to be done. He thought that maybe doing PMP will go ahead and help him to, implement properly into his thing. So what he did, he is in planning, saying that let us plan it. Now, once he plans that I want to do it, just doing a plan is not going to the thing. He will have to do it. He'll have to probably do it, which, as we are saying in this example, he might go ahead and join some training soon and then, go ahead and clear that exam and so on. So plan ke baad do is very important. However, just stopping there is not going to solve his problem. He will have to now go ahead and check, saying that what were the concerns he had in his work before the thing. Are some of them now addressed? For example, the customer earlier was challenging his versions. Now, because he said that I am saying this as per the PMP, customer has started accepting it. So that is called as a check. However, now I'm not saying this will happen. I'm saying, however, it is possible that he might actually get another thing there, that while customers are all over accepting it, it's not necessary that the lead time for him to go ahead and close a deal is not still reduced. It is only, customer is feeling that, yes, yeah, Sanjeev is, what he says is right. Not necessarily. So now act. Now act means probably what he will have to do. He will have to do something next. Something next. And that's where he will do the plan. So this cycle will keep on running for you to do the continuous improvement called as PDCA. Plan, do, check, and act. They might give you, ask you the sequence of these things and how many times you need to do it. Multiple times, for you to reach the final deal. You have to keep on doing this plan, do, check, and act. Very logical. PDCA is another, is the name which is called. It is also called as Deming wheel because Deming was the person who was the one who actually put this theory, quite commonly used by all the guys in the manufacturing things there. So that is one more theory there, and cause and effect. We have seen it flowchart. All of you people know, when you are actually going to do some improvements about it, go ahead and break it into small steps and say that which is the step where probably there are maximum issues coming up there. Then comes the check sheet. Check sheets are used for, gathering the data. When you are going to gather the data on shop floor, it's not very neat, clean type of thing where you would be able to set up the computers or use the mobiles and so on and so forth. Now, if that is the case, what do you do? Is that you use a checklist. Here, there will be pre-printed reasons there, and once you get one particular part, mark it as 1. Then second, 1, 1, second, third, fourth. So after 3 and 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then cross it like that. That's how they do it. Basic advantage of this approach is that you can actually go ahead and gather the data. Where there are a lot of parts you are checking. You cannot go ahead and make an entry onto that. If you want to take a very crude example, let's say there is some agency which is going to go ahead and say that, I want to check how many vehicles are passing from this road because we want to invest or create a new highway. And we are going to, invest substantial money. Which highway is better or which highway is a candidate for investment? Now, for that, someone was put up into a tent and said that whatever vehicles are passing from this, go ahead and take a note of it. You need to go ahead and take a note of it. Now, what he was done, he was given a simple paper. For example, he was said that car. Then,
Sir, can you please mute someone?
yes, yes,
Getting background noise.
yes. So, car. Then there was something called as a bike. Then truck. Then came tractor and whatever. So he wrote all that thing. Now remember, for the whole day, if he's sitting there, there will, car will, one car after second, third, then a bike, then so many things will come. He cannot go ahead and open an app and keep on doing that, all that thing or computerized thing there. So once he sees the car, he puts one. The next one was bike, then another car, then truck, then another car, then tractor, then another bike, then another car. After 4, rather than giving another line, he does it like that. So what happens is that at the end of whatever 5 p.m., whenever his shift is getting over, he will go ahead and put this thing there. Now it will be very easy to say that this is 17 because 5 is a chunk. So 5 multiplied by 3 plus 2. So this type of thing is called as check sheet, which is there for gathering the data. I explained you about the Pareto Histogram commonly used in the manufacturing industry very commonly. It says that when there is a even data, you go ahead and get the pattern. If you go ahead and put the frequency there, you will get a pattern like that. If I again, tell you the same example, people reaching 9 a.m. This was 9 a.m. People would be reaching at 9 a.m. At the earliest, they are allowed to enter into the premises at 8:50 a.m. Don't think about the IT companies. But in the manufacturing, obviously, you can't allow workmen to enter into the factory too early as well. So 8:50 and obviously 9:10. After 9:10 a.m., if that guy walks into the thing, he will be marked as a late, and there would be a procedure related to that. If you go ahead and ask the watchman saying that, can you go ahead and check how many people are coming at each time, for 8:50, 8:51, 8:50, 8:49 and all that. Whenever people are coming there. So 1 minute wala, he goes ahead and maybe he used that check sheet like thing. Now what will happen is that if you go ahead and do that, you will find that the graph will come, maximum people will reach at 9. Some of them might come late, some might come late, some might come late. Similarly, some might come early, some might come early. Now this type of graph, if you try to do in a random thing, will always, this is specification limit, it will always come like this. This is bell shape or sine wave, whatever you call it as. This, if you draw it, it is called as a histogram. Now, the advantage of histogram is that when you are gathering this data, you might actually realize that in some situation, the histogram will start coming like this, which means your process is not very stable. Your process is widely spread. There are so many people who are coming too early. There are so many people who are coming too late. Maybe you'll have to manage your transport vendor. He is not very diligent. He is sometimes sending the cars too early, cabs too early. Sometimes they are coming late and all that. Maybe it is because of the bad road conditions and all that. Another possible way of, the histogram could come in the form of like this, which means everything is shifted earlier. Maybe you have introduced the penalty to the cab drivers and saying that if you come late, I am going to charge you. Now what happened? Those cab drivers started reaching too early and taking the people and say, कि तुम पहुंच जाओ बाद में तुम देखो, I don't care about it. Sometimes it might come like this. So basically, histogram in a huge data will start speaking the trend, and it will allow you to go ahead and adjust certain policies there. This was only about the this is just an example. Don't get stuck up into the example. This could be drawn for anything. Average average compliance to the estimate. One of the examples, saying that how often you are doing the work exactly as estimated, how often you are delaying than that. You go ahead and draw it for 6-1, you will start getting such a graph. Mostly the center will be there, and these graphs will then start you telling you, saying that what do you need to do it. So it's an actionable there. Control chart I explained you using the example. Scatter diagram also I explained it using the example. So this was the thing. This is gone. This is not there these days. This was all in the old days. So this is where these are the things there. So now we'll go into this. Also we have seen it: customer satisfaction, conformance to requirement, and fitness for use. You recollect I spoke about that example of the guy who was going to fit an engine to the bicycle, where we went ahead and said that earlier doing what exactly customer asked was good enough, but nowadays you need to also check whether what you are doing is fit for use, which means if there are any non-functional requirement, there are so many things there, and you need to keep an eye on to that. Customer will expect you to know them and include those as a requirement. So don't only, conforms to requirement is must, but even fitness for use, you need to think about it and give it to them there. Continual improvement is to achieve the PDCA, TQM, all that. PDCA is plan, do, check, and TQM is a short form of total quality management, which actually says, a method in which you focus a lot on the processes. If your processes are okay, then your products are good, is the principle. Six Sigma and Lean Six Sigma, you might get some, thing. So all improvement things, you might get a small, a question which is differentiating between Six Sigma and Lean. Lean is where you are not required to do any statistical study. All of you team members sit together, and on the basis of brainstorming, on the basis of gut feeling, you are able to say that this is the weak area, let us go ahead and sort it out. If you are doing it, it is called as a lean methodology of modifying. However, after some time, you will realize you are not able to find out most obvious things, or most obvious issues are already handled. In that situation, sometimes you need to do a statistical study and identify the weak area. Do the statistical study and say which is the best solution. Doing so is Six Sigma. Lean is without any statistics improvement based on the gut feel, which is not bad either. Gut feel wala is good. It's not that. Six Sigma is, where you go ahead and do the statistical study to identify the root cause and then implement. Both of these are the methods which are to do the improvement. All these will help you to do the quality improvement. Management responsibility is a word which is come into the latest, theories, and what it says is basically, it simply says that when there is a defective part, when something is, a defective part is getting created into a factory, it is not only the people who are doing the work on ground are responsible, even the CEO of the company, everyone, the top management, in fact, top management has more responsibility for the defective thing. So in a Tata Motors, now I am just taking the name, not to blame any make or anything, but what I am trying to say is that if there is a defective car found into the Tata's factory, this particular theory says that you have to ask Mr. Tata as well. Now you said Mr. Tata, I mean, he has so many factories, he has so many people there. He doesn't do any design, he doesn't do any testing, he doesn't work into manufacturing, but still he has, for example, providing right resources, giving them the training, giving them the material, and all that thing is his job. So basically, before this concept as a management responsibility, people were trying to drive all the improvement only on the ground level. Okay, yes, up karo and it will happen. Now that was not enough. Sometimes you need to start, so bug, what they call it as, bug stops at, bug should stop at the top person first, so that then improvements will happen. And then supplier and customer should be the partners. That's the, the concept these days. Sanju, I'm sure you are working towards this extensively, your current work in this area, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Correct, है ना? Basically क्या था in good old days, friends,
Yes.
what was happening good old days, that suppliers were seen to be, sort of our enemies, I need to squeeze maximum out of it. I mean, then I will go on doing as much of a inspection, and if it is a bad part, I will go ahead and reject it. What was happening with that is that, finally supplier was losing, and in the process, we are also loser, because then he will increase the cost. New concept, what it says, that help the supplier to improve. If he improves, his cost might come down and you will get that benefit. So these days, suppliers are not seen to be a competitor. They are seen to be your partner. They are not competitors. It's not that they are there to save your money. They are your partners who are helping you to build a better quality. So those are the concepts which are there, which is commonly used. Tailoring, you need to do it on the basis of compliance to organization. Your quality policy would be there, in each of the company, they have their own quality objective, policy, templates. You need to follow all those things, whatever audits are specified by your company. Sometimes, there are regulatory compliances. If you are working into an industry like a BFSI, banking, financial sector, and insurance. So there are their own standards. You cannot, it is regulatory. You cannot go ahead and change them anywhere. If you are working into heavy engineering type of thing, if you are working into, thing which is going to create boilers for factories, for those boilers for the factories, there are so many regulatory compliances. It is not question of customer telling it to you. It is not about what do you think good. It is government which is going to tell you, you'll have to follow all that. You'll have to do that there. Continual improvement will be done at what level and so on. So you need to go ahead and tailor your project. In case of Agile, quality or testing is an ongoing thing. It is not a separate phase as a testing. The moment you are developing something, side by side, you will be testing it. So test-driven development, basically. Continuously do the testing when the products are getting made is, in case of Agile, which is there. Now comes three processes. Plan quality management to begin with. Objective of this process is to capture the quality requirement of the project and deliverable. Remember, he is very clear. I mean, these words are very powerful. Quality requirement of project and deliverable. Deliverable wala you need to fulfill, but even quality requirement of the project need to be fulfilled. Can someone try? What does it mean? How does that differ? Quality requirement of the project and deliverables. How could that be different? Yes, Anushri.
Just making an attempt.
Yes,
So
sure.
through the project, processes have been followed in an apt manner, and the output, that is the deliverable.
That is deliverable. Correct. Any example that comes good? You are on track there. Exactly, Anushri. Any example of how are the process standards and
So
Hmm.
in we can take case of car manufacturing.
Hmm.
So we follow all the processes, like for example, quality check for
Hmm.
each and every equipment added to the car.
Correct.
And when car is delivered,
Hmm.
it is of good quality.
Good, correct. So quality requirements are from the manufacturing process itself. That's what Anushri is saying. It has to be following these things. It's not only the deliverable you will check, because this requirement of the projects are fulfilled, then obviously deliverables are mostly good. And so both of those things you need to plan there. And that's what I was saying, process and the product. That was I was indirectly saying on in the header. So good, Anushri. That was a right attempt. It is documented. You need to go ahead and put it into quality management plan, and then later you will be using there. These are the inputs which are well known to all of us. EFs you need to always consider working and operating conditions of the team working on the projects. It's very common phrase that you might be making a very high end thing. For example, yeah, you could be working on to making the parts for an aircraft. But do you know that quite often these aircraft parts are actually outsourced to a vendor. Some part out of it are outsourced to a vendor. You are making it for, let's say, Boeing or maybe for Jet, whatever is the thing for him, and you went ahead and outsourced it for a small scale guy, because you can't make everything yourself. Now what will happen is that if you think that his factory is going to be in the same shape as yours, you could be wrong. You might have a latest gauges, latest tools to check all that thing. He may not be. This is a small scale guy there. So you need to keep that into the mind. If it is not there, you could get into the this is an EF. You need to keep an eye on to that. Expecting that they will follow the extremely high standards is good to say as a procedure, not necessarily they would be able to do it. Are you getting this point, friends? Yes. You got this? Hello? What happened? I'm sure Sanjeev you would have understood this, what this is trying to say. Hello?
Yes, sir. Means what, for example, I as a OEM, hello,
Yes.
am
You
I
are audible.
audible? Yes. Hello?
You are audible.
Oh, yeah, I understood this line as, yeah, I understood this line as that, for example, I as a OEM may have a lot of facility, manpower, and skilled manpower, equipments, but I cannot expect supplier that it should have same thing.
Correct.
So that factor I should consider.
You should consider. That's what he's saying. Good. That's what. And for Sanjeev, this was easy because this is what is his job. Day in and day out, that's what he does it. So he knows this very well, friends. Good. And locations of the project, deliver cultural perception, different cultures, different, for example, this is just not to say any, nationality or anything, but typically say that Japanese people are too particular about the quality standards, while Chinese, on the other hand, more concentrate on the productivity. So these are the cultural perceptions which you need to keep in the mind. Expert judgment obviously is tool and technique, which is for planning the quality. You need to be expert into that. You need to have knowledge about the quality tools, processes, and all that thing. You need to gather a lot of data for deciding the quality management plan parameters. Some of them could be brainstorming, interview, benchmarking. Benchmarking is very common. Basically, when you are going ahead, and standardizing, saying that which type of product it is there, you might benchmark it, saying that this is, so this requirement I am matching like this, So for example, what can I take as a benchmarking? Benchmarking may, basically, take a standard product and say that I am going to make a product like that. So if there is a new, vendor who is going to establish a plastic molding type of thing, he might go ahead and say that I will be producing the chairs which are like Neel Kamal chairs. Now Neel Kamal chairs, he has put it as a benchmark, saying that this is how I'm going to make it. Sometimes this is used there. You need to analyze the data, and for which you need to create, obviously, cost benefit analysis. Every incremental improvement into the quality. Now listen to this carefully. I'm saying that every incremental improvement in the quality will come at an incremental cost. Is that correct, friends? Yes, is that, have you understood, Anirudh?
Yes.
Yeah. Every incremental feature, every incremental thing will come at an incremental cost. Is that correct, Divya?
Correct, sir.
Now, if that is the case, Divya, then why don't you make the best product only? Make it only best product.
For the best product, we need to have stringent quality checks, and that is costly affair.
That is costly affair. Now that costly affair, Aniruddha, may not be the something which customer will buy for, correct? So obviously you need to do this analysis always when you are actually doing an incremental investment into the quality. ये जो है ना, taking a pride saying that हम लोग सिर्फ अच्छा बनाएंगे. I mean, that makes no sense. It is quite possible customer is not going to pay for that. You might end up wasting, and he will not buy it. He will say मेरे को तो ऐसा ही चीज चाहिए. Yeah, so that's what I was looking. So you need to do this cost benefit analysis always. Is very, it sounds like against the quality. It's not quality. When you are saying best quality, it has to be also a financial feasible. It should actually make a sense out of it. If it is not there, obviously customer are not going to pay a hell lot of money for what you think is the best there. For that also, you need to do some the cost of the quality, which is explained here in the next chart. It says that there are two broad parts. Whatever money you are investing into the quality, there are two broad categories, and below that there are two subcategories. Cost of conformance is the money you are actually investing to make good products. Cost of non-conformance is the money you are spending once a bad product is created. Let me repeat. Cost of conformance is the money you are spending to create good products. Cost of non-conformance is the money you are spending because a bad product is created. Now, in cost of conformance, there are two parts: prevention cost, investing into the training of the staff, documenting the process, using appropriate tools, equipments, and all that is a prevention cost. You are spending this money even your product before the product is made. For making good product, you are investing into the production line. All that is called as the prevention cost. However, whatever prevention you do, still, once the products are ready, it is essential for you to check them. Because my process is stable, I will go ahead and offer it to the customer and say, I am not going to check it, you check it, this is brilliant. Is not going to work. You need to do appraisal, which means you'll have to go ahead and check the products. Basically, you have to do the testing. In certain situation, you have to do the destructive testing, which means, you need to go ahead and damage it to establish how much does it stand, or doing the inspection. These type of things you need to do it. These are called as appraisal cost. Remember, whatever brilliant product you create, still the testing will be required, which is appraisal cost. These two are under cost of conformance, which you are investing for making a good product. However, once this particular thing is done, it is possible that in the appraisal or in the testing, you found some defective parts. If you get some defective parts, you are crossing this side and coming to cost of non-conformance. Now, there are two ways. One is internally you detect that particular thing and then rework or scrap it. Good situation still, even though it is not good because you have created a bad product, but you tracked itself. So you went ahead and reworked and scrapped. Your cost went up, but customer never got even an idea saying that you have done some mistake there because you are not shipped that product there. Internal failure. But that's not end of it. The last, obviously, which should not happen is external failure, which means you didn't test it or whatever, you didn't dictate it, you gave it to the customer and customer noticed and defect. So it's a liability, warranty and all that thing, which is common thing there. If I say the car manufacturers, it is called as that, recall. Sometimes you need to recall a model. Now, what is that? It's an external failure cost. Typically, they say start on this side. Invest in prevention so that appraisal cost could be reduced. Invest in appraisal so that internal failure will not happen. Invest in internal failure so that external failure will not happen. Try to spend it earlier so that you don't land into the trouble. These are the 4 things. Just to repeat: cost of conformance, cost of non-conformance. Here there was a prevention cost, and here it was appraisal cost. And here it was internal failure cost, and here it was external failure. They might give you some scenario and say that which cost is this, and so on and so forth. So that's what is this theory. Then you need to make the decisions. As I was saying, incremental, that cost benefit analysis, when you do it, you might come across saying that there are so many things I can introduce as a quality to improvise my product, to make it more better product. These are the things. Now you need to make a decision which parameter out of that I will include into the thing and which I will. Sometimes you might use multi-criteria decision analysis technique. We have seen this technique in one of the chapter before. Multiple parameters and give the weightages, and the basis of weightage say which parameters are winning there. For example, here, if it is quality related thing, you might go ahead and say that because of this particular feature. So let's say there are some 20 features. Sales people said that there are 20 features they are looking for, or customer will look for 20 features there. Now, out of these 20, because of whatever investment reason, you can take only 8. 8 out of this. Now, which one do I take? And go alphabetical, go whichever came first? No, not the idea. So, multi-criteria, you will go ahead and say that so for all these 20, things, 1, 2, 3, 4, go ahead and say that which one is going to improve the look and feel. Look and feel of the product, improvement. Remember, only 10 points, not very important. I mean, if you have the product, so it's, if it is an industrial product, then look and feel ka point 10 aega. But if it is some fashion product, then look and feel will probably have 50 points, because that's very important. Now the second parameter could be safety. Safety. I mean, is it going to add to the safety? Safety might have, let's say, 20 points. Is it going to reduce the cost? Some of the features are going to reduce the cost. That might have, if it is a very competitive type of thing, you might say that 50 points for reducing the cost. And then each of the parameter give a rating to it. So iska 20 may say 20. This is 40. Add all that thing and say that these are the top 8. I will go ahead and take. That's how it is called as multi-criteria decision analysis technique. You will have to put it into the flow chart, sometimes logical data diagram. L type, I will explain it to you. L and T, both these I will explain it to you in the risk chapter, which will be on the on the coming Saturday. Mind map, we have already seen it. Drill down, basically, once we are doing it, go ahead and say what are all the look and feel requirements, what are the cost improvement things, what are the reduced maintenance, so do that. Test and inspection planning, what all you are going to do as a testing and meetings. And output is quality management plan, so what quality standards will be used by the project. Will that be given by the company? Will that be given by customer? In some situation, customer themselves specifies the quality standard, and you need to go ahead and adhere it. It is part of the contract. It is not a choice. It is part of the contract, they say. Quality objectives of the project. Remember, quality objective of the organization is one, but you need to have who will play what role, who will reach the requirement, who will prioritize the requirement, who will do the testing, who will do the acceptance, who will give the deviation. Deviation is basically, it says that if you are creating something substandard, there is a process, and that process will be followed to say that, yes, this time it is acceptable. Now, who will do that? That's quality rules. Project deliverables, quality control activities, and all that. So that's how it is written. And one more output called as quality metrics. How are you going to measure the parameter? As I told you, a 40 millimeter diameter thing will be, said that 39 to 41. This is the quality matrix. So if it is a long bar here, and this bar will have something called as, let's say a strength or tensile strength or क्या बोलते हैं उसको compression strength. It will be 58 ton to 62 tons. That is the strength. So these are metrics. You need to decide it there. In terms of service industry, it will be number of defects which are allowed, amount of delay allowed per deliverable. Those type of things. Quality metrics are always there. It would be difficult to specify it into industries like the food and all that thing, but still it is there. And there. Then manage quality, having planned the quality, is the time to manage quality. If I go ahead and come back to my master chart, so what I did is I did this and now I'm going to manage. Basic thing is audit. I'm going to do audit. But manage quality is slightly wider than audit. What does it mean? It also concentrates or it also puts their comment onto something called as a design. Remember, if you are saying audit, you will think that these guys will come back and tell you, I am making any mistake in the process. You will, but not. They can come back and tell you that your design is bad. The way in which you have designed. For example, if it is a product related thing and you have designed some component to be whatever, this is 25.4 mm is the, the diameter. They might come back and say that looking at the load and all that thing, I don't think this is going to work. You need a 32 mm diameter thing here. 32 mm diameter. Now this is a design parameter. What I'm trying to say, design parameters also they can come back. If you look at into the IT type of thing, it is saying that, in the, you earlier thought that you will use the flat files for doing it. They came back and said, no, use some RDBMS because, you need that relational, what do they call it as, the constraints and all that thing. So basically, they are not only going to question you on the process, they are also going to check how good is your design. And not only that, they might come back and tell you also how to continuously improve the process. Process improvement measures also they will. So don't relate with manage quality is equal to what auditors do for you. It is beyond it. They are little more powerful auditors than what you have typically looking. That's manage quality. And control quality, as I told you, is checking the product by your own team. So now let us go into manage quality. Performing quality activities as planned in the plan quality, it will help you to ensure that project meets the quality objectives. Quality assurance is sub part of the manage quality. Quality assurance, what they are trying to say is that quality assurance. So manage quality is equal to quality assurance, which means audit, product design, and process improvement. As I told you, this auditor is not the one who comes back and say that you are not using the right risk management template. That is his job. But he might come back and say that, how can you use MySQL here? You should have used Oracle. Now I'm just giving an example. Product design. He might also come back and look at it and say that, can you show me the defects in last 3 releases? And let me check if you are continuously improving. And if you are not, can you do something? So all these 3 things, little more powerful auditors is what they are. In case of quality, manage quality is under the cost of conformance. What they are trying to say, manage quality is doing the audit, doing the product design, process improvement. This is all before you create the product, isn't it? And that's why he's saying cost of conformance. This is not non-conformance. Non-conformance means once bad product is created. Audit, all that thing are helping you to create a good product in first place. It is not to fix a badly created product. So that's why it is saying it is cost of conformance. They are all covered as a proper product design, doing the audits, conformance of the process compliances. Are you following the processes? That also will be checked here. Improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the processes. Are you sending all the reports on time? Efficiency. Sending all the reports on time is efficiency. Are those reports readable? Are the people comfortable with that? Is effectiveness. I'm speaking about the communication. Are you doing all the testing as per the schedule? Efficiency. Are you able to catch the issues? Effectiveness. Both the things are important, efficiency and effectiveness, and managed quality will concentrate on both. PM might use central quality department. In fact, one of the things which all the quality standards says, audit must always be done by someone who doesn't report to that project manager. Is that correct? Is that true about your company as well, friends? Audits, they always say, should be done not by the people who are directly under that project manager. Is that correct, Divya? Dushmant, is that right in your case? Manik, anyone?
Yes, yes. They have different audit department, which periodically they do the try to help in managing the quality, the
Exactly.
audit
And it
department.
should never be your own team, Deepmala, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Because they should be third party. They should be questioning you, isn't it? So if he is your person only, he may not, dare to question you, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So it has to be a central party. Prince, you are saying something.
No, I was on same page.
On the same page. Good. That's what he's saying. And everyone include customer has a role to play in manage quality. You can't say that it is vendor's job and customer has no relatively. Everyone need to participate in managing the quality. This is the comparison. This chart is obviously not from teamwork. It says that manage quality is part of execution. Control quality is manage, monitor and control, validate scope. Validate scope here. Look at it here. I'm trying to compare 1, 2 and 3. Validate scope. ये customer acceptance है. This is testing. This is auditing. So those 3 I am trying to put because there are some similarities here. How it is done? Manage quality is typically audit. Control quality inspection. And the valid scope acceptance by the customer. Remember here it is by the project team, is customer. This is quality management plan is created here. Manage quality may see when you are checking something, it is always against something, against something. So quality management plan is specifying what should be the processes. You are checking you are doing the audit against it. While quality metrics is the parameter of the product, and in control quality you check the product against the metrics. So here actual processes against the plan, actual products against the specification, and validate scope also, specification and product. Then comes control quality is very detailed process where validate scope just for acceptance. Largely in some situation customer might go ahead and do much rigorous testing even in the customer acceptance. You can't stop him, but largely because this is the first filter you have done it, he need not or he should not be going into that thing. Output is quality reports, validated, delivered and accepted. Basically comparison of these 3. This could be easily thrown as a scenario based question, so be careful about it when you are preparing for that. Tools and techniques or data gathering. A lot of data need to be gathered for doing the audit. Sometimes there is a checklist. Auditors come up with their own checklist, saying that when you are coming to your project, can you show me the project plan? So once you show that, he will open his pad and say, abhi risk register. Okay, show me he might look at each of them and say, this is what. So checklist very commonly used so that, you don't miss any of the parameter in the, in the audit. Then comes analysis. You might, as I told you, improving the processes, suggesting to improve the processes to the project manager is also covered in managed quality. And hence, you need to do alternative analysis. If you find that there are a lot of defective comings, the auditor only can't throw an non-conformance report. Then there are so many defects, please do something. You will have to do alternative analysis. Is it because of the, or can that be improved by giving more training to the staff? Can that be done by introducing some tools of the development tools? Can that be done by improving the customer's involvement into that? Can that be done by providing more time for doing the testing? No, alternative. You will have to check saying that which one is there and do that. Document analysis. Go ahead and study all the reports and see where are the issues coming. Then comes process analysis. As I told you, where is the weak link in the process? These defects are coming because we have cut short the requirement time by half. You realize defects are coming, developer is developing, tester is not able to test it, but the root cause was that you have not captured the requirement properly. So process analysis, root cause, you know that fishbone diagram, and why are defects coming there. Making appropriate decisions is obviously part of, manage quality. And, they could be choosing amongst different implementations, different suppliers. Product decision could be total life cycle cost. So in my part, when I'm designing a part, I have a choice to use, plastic as one of the material. Then I have another option to use, the MS mild steel, and I have also a choice to use brass. Now, if you take a very funny thing, common across this will be your tabs, tabs which are there. So if you are going to, make a tab out of the thing, you would realize that tab could be made using all this material, either a plastic tab, steel, or brass. Which one you need to take? Those type of, things you need to go ahead and consider there. Data representation, we have seen all of them. Affinity diagram. Affinity diagram is going ahead and grouping the things together. If you take suggestions from different people, then what feature do they want to see into the next new version of the product? They will go ahead and say that, give multiple suggestions. Now you make a group called as look and feel. So you go ahead and take a board. On this, you take a group called as look and feel. Then these are the features which are going to reduce the cost. Reduce the cost. These are the features which are going to reduce maintenance cost. Remember, this is manufacturing cost. This is the maintenance cost. Then some of the features could be improving the safety. Improve safety. Now, all the people, whatever suggestion they give, you go ahead and ask them to write it into a, onto a post-it sheet and paste these post-it sheets in appropriate blocks. This will help you to do this type of thing is called as affinity diagram. Affinity diagram is used in multiple places. One of the use here is that. Cause and effect, I explained it to you at length. Flowchart, histogram I have shown you already. Histogram, matrix. One of that was the scatter diagram. Scatter diagram is a matrix diagram, 2 dimensions there. And scatter diagram for finding relationship between two variables. Doing the audits is an essential part. Audit you might get good amount of people-based questions, which means they might ask saying that, you are the auditor and this is what you have found. Now, remember some principle. Number one, auditor's focus should be to look at the weak process, not the weak person. It is not all identifying the, an issue with the individual or a team. It is all about what process has gone wrong. Auditors are not there only to find out what is wrong. They are also supposed to be capturing and understanding what is good. They need to, mention it there. Audits are not only to tell what is the issue, but also suggest the solution. So lot of scenario based question could be framed onto the audit, which need to be there. DFX or something called as design for excellence, which is latest term. It says that when you are doing the improvement, you do the continuous improvement. Don't try to go ahead and say that I will go ahead and make or design a product which is the best product and then launch with that. They say that tomorrow current product, whatever is there, you keep on improving on that, step by step. So for a car manufacturer, launching a new model is once in whatever 2 year, 3 year, they might launch a new model. But continuously improving the current models is called as design for X or design for excellence, which is a new term which is used. Once you are doing the managed quality, you need to improve the processes as well. And it's not only that you find what's wrong, but you say that what is the right way, and you might do problem solving there. For example, if you believe that there are so many defects into the deliverers there, you might go ahead and define the problem. So many defects which are come of late, we have noticed that these are increasing. That is the problem. Identify the root cause, multiple root causes. Is it because of poor requirement? Is it because of insufficient tools? Is it because of poor developers? Is it because of bad testers? Identify it. Generate the possible solution. Because our developers are having less experience, they could be given more training. We can increase lateral recruitment, which means, rather than training, taking fresher and training at least some people lateral. So these are possible solutions. Choose the best solution. Looking into the cost, seems that 50% recruitment of experienced guys and improving the training for existing people 50%. This should be the best solution, looks like, in the given situation. So do that thing, implement that solution, and then verify. So at the end of 6 months, go ahead and check, are the defects now reduced? So that's the structured way of doing. I mean, this is very commonsensical thing, isn't it? I mean, if you believe that, very funny, I'm taking an odd example, and the odd example is that, if you believe that your current way of working and all that thing is not able to, fulfill your financial dreams, and you want that, that you need to do something different. Look at these 5 steps, 6 steps, and you will find: define the problem, identify root cause, why financial instability, what are the solutions to reduce that financial instability, choose the best solution, implement that solution way. Look at it, very odd. It has nothing to do with process quality. It is your financial challenges. These steps are very generic. They could be implemented anywhere. All that we have seen it. Six Sigma, PDCA, Lean. I have explained it to you. Or doing, this is all about manage quality. You are actually doing the audit and suggesting the improvement. For doing that, these are all, possible things we might tell you. And output is called as quality reports. And these are the weak areas. This is where non-conformance, this is the improvement way. All those recommendations, all that thing are going there. And test and evaluation document. Obviously, when you realize that some processes are bad, something need to be changed, some new tool is to be introduced, some more training is to be given, change request. As you know, all over doing an improvement or changing anything in the existing plan starts with a change request. So change request. Control quality, third out of this thing is, check the effectiveness of the quality standards. You are following quality standard, you are doing audits, you are doing everything. Is that finally need to reflect into the products? Isn't it? I mean, otherwise you would be doing audit very sincerely, and still, the products you are creating are not getting accepted by the customer. A lot of rejection there, and so on. So checking that effectiveness is very important. Check the completeness, compliance, and fitness for use of the products before you ship it to the thing. Doing the testing, you need to do it. Obviously, different industries will have different thing. And here, this is what I was saying, where the life of the human is at risk, this testing has to be much more rigorous. And that's why in agile methodology, control quality is done part of the development itself. As they don't have a separate testing phase in agile. If it is 21 days of the sprint there, it's not that last 3 days they will go ahead and do the testing. It doesn't work like that. They will start development from day 2. I'm saying day 2 because day 1 probably will be sprint planning meeting. So day 2 to day 20 or 21, they are doing the development as well as testing. Whatever is developed, same day testing is the last bullet point speaking about. These are the inputs which all of us know pretty well. Deliverables, which is an input because now you are checking it. This being the monitor and control process, work performance data is an input, work performance information is an output. Gathering the data, once the products are there, once your tester is doing that testing, you will use checklist 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, these type of thing, to identify which areas there are defects and so on and so forth. So checklist. Sorry, that is check sheet. Checklist is, he will have a parameters. So for example, I don't know, factories may, Aniruddha, if you know that, they call it as a pre-delivery checklist. Is there in all the car manufacturers. Does anyone know this? Pre-delivery checklist? Yeah, Sanjeev ji, आपको मालूम है? The people.
Pre-dispatch.
Pre-dispatch
inspection
checklist. Correct.
kind of
Yes,
thing.
correct. And what is that, Sanjeev?
Pre-dispatch inspection.
Basically there are parameter like are mirrors fitted, seat cover लगा है क्या, petrol half liter is it put there, are the lights switch on, वो एक standard checking करना पड़ता है उसको, he need to do all that checking and tick, and then this is okay. This is pre-dispatch checklist. This is the car manufacturer's word. This is applicable for all industry. So Deepmala, even in our industry, if you look at our IT industry, there are pre-dispatch checklist. Is that correct?
Yes, we have.
वो release notes वगैरह बोलते हैं ना कभी कभी हम इसको.
Release notes, yes.
Sometimes we call it as release notes. Equivalent of that is, check sheet. So checklists are there. Statistical sampling, what is the principle? What they say that if you are using a automation and all the processes are fairly automated, then checking every component coming out of it is silly. Particularly if you look at the manufacturing thing, they end up creating, even if you look at a small thing, they will create 50 cars a day every day. Now, when they are creating 50 cars a day, the amount of, so for example, the manufacturer who is making the mirrors might be making 10,000 mirrors per day. 10,000 mirrors per day are created and packed there. Now, if they start checking each of the mirror, it will be impossible, and the variation is also not possible because no one creates mirror manually. It's an automation. In that situation, they use statistical sampling. Basically, go ahead and decide the rule saying that if your lot size is between 1 to 1,000, I will be taking, whatever, 5% of the sample size, which means 50 numbers I will take. But if my sample size or manufacturing 1,001 to 5,000, then I will be taking 3% only, 3% of the thing. You have predefined rules. So out of that whole lot, you will take so much, check it. And if you believe all of those are good, which means you go ahead and accept that thing. If you believe that, you find a defect there, which means go ahead and say this is rejected. That type of thing is called as statistical sampling. Sampling is very essential because otherwise checking everything will be time consuming. It will need a lot of efforts, and more than that will add to the cost. So sampling, is a common scenario which is there, and that's how it is done. Some of the parameters, particularly look and feel like, could be handled better by questionnaires and surveys. Questionnaire surveys are also good for doing the control quality, where there is a touch and feel, look and feel, those type of parameter, because it is more subjective. And if 100 people think that this color is good, which means it is good. So there is no specific thing to be done there. Once you do all that thing, analyze the data for performance reviews, which is the area which are the components where there are maximum defects, which is the module, if it is a software, which is the module there are defects, root cause analysis, why is this happening. Doing the inspection, obviously that's the heart of control quality, checking the products, and that's called as inspection there. And inspection called as sometimes audit, review, product review, walkthrough, and then testing and product evaluation. Once you are doing that thing, all these things, running your test cases, all those, typical things are called as testing. You need to represent the data in form of cause and effect diagram. We have already seen it. Cause and effect is fishbone diagram. Control chart, we have already seen it. Upper limit, specification limit. Histogram, I have explained it to you, and scatter diagram. So all these diagrams I have already explained using the diagram and example and doing the meetings. Output quality control measurements, actual size, actual, specifications of what you have done. It is quality control measurements. In our case, software development terminology, this will be like an acceptance reports. These are not acceptance test cases. Let me write it here. Acceptance test cases. Test case. If you look into PMP, it is called as quality metrics. It is quality metrics. And acceptance reports. Report is called as quality report. This is an output of acceptance. This is an input. Quality metrics is an input for doing the quality, and output is the actual measurements. So quality control measurements is an output here. Verified deliverable, once you are happy with that thing, and obviously monitor and control things. Sometimes change requests, which means a defect. You have not found something in order, a defect could be raised through a CR. And then comes the resource management as a process. Any questions, friends, before we go ahead and try some quality related questions? Quality related questions, I'm not sure. Calling that they are going to be tricky would be little strange, but why should we guess when we can see it there? So, any questions before I or the book start asking you the question? So, Kiran, या तो तू क्वेश्चन पूछ या तो किताब तुझे क्वेश्चन पूछेगी. Yes, anyone? Any question? Ajay, Mahesh, Dushmant, any question?
Six Sigma having the statistical analysis, right?
Correct. It uses the statistical analysis. Correct, Kiran.
Yeah, but there are Lean Six Sigma also there, right? Which
Now
is,
Lean Six Sigma, when they are saying it is typically done together, but Lean part of it, Kiran, is about doing the improvement on the basis of brainstorming at a broad level. No need to do the statistical analysis there.
okay, but
And
that fishbone diagram, that
those things you
histograms,
will
and
use it, but you
these
don't
are
need.
the static Six Sigma, right? The
Not
statistical
necessarily.
analysis.
That could be used in both. But the question is that, if you are sitting, Kiran, and doing the brainstorming, if you go ahead and draw the fishbone diagram, then it could be done even in Lean. Correct, Kiran?
Yeah,
So
it's
it is
in
about an
Lean.
interpretation. Statistical study कुछ नहीं किया तू. Correct?
Okay.
But when you do the fishbone diagram using statistical study, then, it becomes, so actually, segregating between Lean and Six Sigma is so difficult. You would have realized in industry, in your company as well, they always say Lean Six Sigma. Hai na?
Yes, sir.
Being
For
Lean and
me,
Six Sigma word being used separately, it becomes very difficult to do that. Correct?
yes.
But वो thin difference है वो दोनों में, which is what we are trying to, say there. Good. Anyone else? Aniruddha.
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So, Sanjeev ji, this topic coincidentally have landed into the classroom when this is a topic which probably, is the one which you are trying day in and day out. So, you will probably find very comfortable. Not necessarily all the topics are similar there. So, today being, he being one of the guest here, तो संजीव कुमार वो पहले पुराने जमाने टाइटल्स में वो गेस्ट अपीयरेंस करके आता था, याद है क्या आपको? राजेश खन्ना गेस्ट अपीयरेंस.
In and as guest appearance.
तो आज का इसका गेस्ट अपीयरेंस संजीव जी है. तो ये क्वेश्चन पहला हम लोग संजीव जी को पूछेंगे. Very funny. He has not done any class. He has not done anything, but he has done a lot of experience. So let's see. Okay, Sanjeev, are you all ready?
Yes, I'm
Everyone
ready.
else, please answer the question mentally yourselves. Okay, and then reveal that thing. To begin with, Sanjeev gets the first right. Which of the following represent information presented in the order of priority and helps to focus the most difficult issue? Control chart, Pareto diagram, fishbone diagram.
Following represent information
Yes, Sanjeev.
in this order
Yes.
of priority. Representing.
Sanjeev, did you say something? No.
In order.
Pareto, I believe.
Pareto diagram.
Priority.
That's what Sanjeev says. Ajay, you agree to him?
Pareto, sir.
It's like very clear. I mean, ये इसका मैं बहुत ज़्यादा बात किया था. So this has to be, in that particular order. So संजीव जी आपका पहला ही आंसर करेक्ट आया है. So hopefully you would find this exam to be easy. चलो अभी everyone else including Sanjeev, anyone. Quality is number 1, adding extras to make customer happy. The degree to which a project meets requirement, meeting and exceeding customer expectation, conformance to management's objective. These type of questions, whenever are there, friends, first thing you do, you need to remove the clutter. And removing the clutter, best way is to go by the elimination. First step, what all you would like to eliminate? Tell me.
First one.
First one, Deepmala, you are clearly dropping. But Deepmala, you can't do it silently. You need to tell me why. Why are you dropping?
Because extras will not add quality. Of course, it will.
Exactly. Extra is not quality. In fact, Deepmala, ये crime है हमारी भाषा में.
Yeah.
In the project management terminology, this is a crime. They call it as a gold plating, and gold plating is bad. So yes. Anything else, friends? You
And
want to eliminate?
point number three also, meeting and exceeding the expectations. We are not exceeding the expectations.
Exceeding is where a debate. तो अनिरुद्ध थोड़ा पार्क कर इसको.
Yeah, last one also we can ignore or remove.
Is that bad, by the way, customer? Hey, Kiran, conformance to objectives करना अच्छा है कि नहीं है, Kiran?
It's management subjective, right?
So it cannot be a definition of quality.
Yes.
Correct? D is not a bad idea. Like Deepmala ने जो पहला बोला ना, वो तो bad है वो. D is not bad, by the way, but D is not the definition of quality. Are you getting this? See, you will have to be little tricky, थोड़ा question को भी study करो, then you will get it. And now, Aniruddha, तो फिर तो you are straightway saying degree to which project meets the requirement, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
Instead of management objectives, it could be if it might be something like say related to checklist or productive product.
That would have been, but वो नहीं
that
है.
वो नहीं है. That's what we
Now,
can.
we need to
it's
choose
not.
between B and C. B and C.
I think it could be C because B may the degree to which the project meets the requirement means वो plus minus वाला है वो. It is talking about up to this thing it is acceptable within the number of defects.
हाँ, but
Tolerance.
वो फिटनेस फॉर यूज नहीं बात कर रहे हो. तू देखा इसमें बी में?
B can be.
Yes, B can be the answer, sir.
B or C?
Because in quality, what we do generally, for example, if I have to supply a product, I will check the drawing, and as for the drawing, part is qualifying the requirement or not, and I will supply. So that is what it is. The only quality team what they does, they check as per the drawing.
Correct. But Sanjeev and all other, please try to understand, because even I got Aniruddha, even I got I thought B should be the answer, and C I was also earlier rejecting because that exceeding. Oh, exceeding इतना अच्छा नहीं लगा मुझे word, which was saying that why are you? This is again sort of a gold plating. Aniruddha, I thought, but they are not having. They are actually having C as an answer here, which and then I will tell you the rationale as well. ये जो है ना ये. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yes, sir. B should be the answer actually.
B is the answer. अब B वाला मैं तेरे को बोलता हूँ कि मैं क्यों ना बोलता था. So let's अभी सीक्वेंस चेंज हो जाएगा. Adding extra is not there. Degree to which project meets ये क्या है? Meets requirement. हाँ ये है ना ये. Now this is
yeah. It has changed.
So
Yeah.
resequence करता है friends. So don't get panic about it. So this is what is the answer. Now the question is that to degree which project meets requirement. Now why I was doubting, I will tell you, Kiran.
Yeah.
I was doubting this for a simple reason that this is not saying fitness for use. It says that whatever customer said you are giving, but you also need to check whether it is fit for use. That is an additional thing which was sounding missing here, and that's where I was trying to use this. But let's read his justification. Otherwise, we are saying this, this exceeding is a problem. है ना? ये sentence में exceeding is a problem, correct?
Sir, exceeding also because one more criteria, customer expectations, that cannot be the limited, right? If we customer can और थोड़ा अच्छा होता तो बढ़िया लगता था.
लेकिन as per project management principle, we say that we should not deliver more.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Translation of ये B का ही translation है वो.
Yes. It's
B
different
and C
words.
in that sense are coming to similar, and that's why let's see what this guy says. Adding extras to make the customer happy and meeting exceeding cannot be best because this can impact the cost.
Cost, yes.
Or exceeding expectation or adding extras. Since the project should meet the requirement, degree is the best. And look at it, it is always the best. The piece which is missing here, I mean, I would have been more happy to choose this, is you would have said meets the requirement and the product is fit for use. वो होता तो I would have been very happy.
Sir, they have written but in different ways. Degree to which project mix. Degree to which means that is the customer requirements, right? That is the use fit for use
They have
only,
used
right?
it.
That degree means it's used for fit for use only, right?
Correct. So those type of things you can always say. Let's see this and then we'll actually start with the new topic. Okay. अरे ये फिर से क्लिक किया मैं. Is this a new question? No. I think by accident I changed the. By accident I did it. This is the one. So there we go. Your company is concerned about improving its project performance. Internal measures that have been created and have helped show areas needing improvement. Look at it. Some improvement wala chal raha hai, and internal measures have been created and help to show areas which are weak. Additional measures of performance are still needed. Which of the following would be the best thing to do? So some improvement things are coming up. Number one, calculate the benefit of cost of purchasing and new place of equipment. Determine the project scope and measures to ensure project scope is met. Perform a root cause analysis of the quality problem that have occurrence in the project, and read the project management magazine each month and looking at the result of the other company projects to help determine quality measurements for future projects. थोड़ा tangential लग रहा है question है?
Yes, yes.
We
But
need to
sir,
make
we
it-
can keep
We
something
can
in
choose
mind, that third option.
C.
And
Yes,
then
correct.
Yeah, Manik?
and
C. It should be C, sir. Why? Because we have to first analyze the cause to the situation where we are here to make an improvement.
Okay. Let's read this once again, Manik. Your company is concerned about improving the project. So तुम्हारा problem है कि project performance
low hai.
is to be
It's
low
need
है.
to be improved, yeah.
यहाँ पे quality की बात नहीं कर रहा है. I mean, it is just an improvement. You
Yeah.
never. Internal measures have been created and have helped show areas of needing improvement. Okay. So
Yes, this is a
measurements are
quality check,
created
yeah.
and where is the weak area यहाँ तक पता चल चुका है तेरे को. Okay.
Yes.
Additional measure are still needed. Some more needed. Which of the following would be best thing? Calculate the benefit cost of purchasing. ये काफी tangential जा रहा है. Determine the project scope and measure to ensure. I mean, this is also not there. Perform the root cause analysis of quality problems that have occurred on the project. Okay. And read the project magazine each month and looking at the result of other companies project to help determine quality measures for future projects. Additional measures still needed and read that for determining additional measures. ये कहीं तो जोड़ी नहीं है.
Yeah, these are relative to the question.
And
In last option, they are saying to compare with other projects.
And this is called as what? Manik. This is called as what? चल यहाँ देखते हैं. I will show it to you and check that.
64.
I will say figure 8-1 dot. संजीव जी ये किताब है जो मास्टर किताब है, which will be there, and this is he is referring to a tool called as benchmarking. कहाँ है रे benchmarking? देख benchmarking, expert judgment, data analysis, data gathering, test and inspection, meeting. ये कहाँ गया?
So we're supposed to look in control quality, right? With the question.
बट यहाँ सब चीज आ ही जाते हैं ना, तो एक मिनट, लेट्स सर्च बेंचमार्किंग इटसेल्फ. आई थिंक ही
Yes, second tools
प्लान
and
क्वालिटी में
techniques.
बेंचमार्किंग है. मानिक, आर यू देयर विथ मी?
सर
ये बेंचमार्किंग का थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं हम लोग. 8.1 में टूल एंड टेक्निक बोल रहा है ना ये. सो कंट्रोल F 8.1.2.1 में जाएंगे एंड बेंचमार्किंग. Manik, would you like to read this loudly for us?
Sure, sir. Benchmarking involves comparing actual or planned project practices or the project's quality standard to those of the comparable projects to identify the best practice, generate ideas for improvement, and provide a basis of measuring performance. Benchmark provides the projects may exist within the performing organization or outside of it, or can be within the same application area or other application area. Benchmarking allows for analogies from project in a different application area or different industries to be made. Okay.
ये जो है ना, this,
Different
and in that
industries.
light we need to read this question text, the option D. Actually ये बोल रहा है, देखिए मेरे ख्याल से he is hinting at D rather than the C, but C is not a bad. Perform a root cause analysis on quality ये root cause analysis हुआ है ना रे?
Yes, sir. But for additional measurement, we need to go for root cause only.
Sir, as
Yes,
per
this
Lean, I
word
think
diagram
is
it
done
will go
already.
to part C.
Huh?
As per Lean, as per my understanding, it should be C, because as per Lean, RC हम लोग करते हैं on quality just to identify any other lever.
So C is what you are thinking there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll
Yes,
try
yes.
with this and this, and then check this. No, ये गलत हुआ देख. I was thinking that ये लोगों का ना थोड़ा, these people sometimes go ahead and map it on the basis of that thing. So let's see this. Yeah, the question states internal measure have been created, therefore external needed to be a choice. Internal सब हो चुका है, आप क्या करोगे? अब जाके benchmarking करो is what he is trying to see. So sometimes questions are little
tricky. Yeah,
tricky.
this is tricky.
थोड़ा googly ball होता है, but don't worry, it's not that difficult. One more, एक more question बनता है. Try
Yes,
करना
sir,
चाहिए.
we have time.
हाँ, बहुत टाइम नहीं है, but anyway, question
80-20
time
Pareto.
running. Which of the ये क्या?
80-20 is Pareto. Yes.
Pareto diagram.
इसमें कोई गलत बोल देगा ना, तो अभी ट्रेनिंग के लिए टाइम वेस्ट मत करे. बस ये सीधा, अरे ये भी देखना, ये इसने एक्सप्लेनेशन भी नहीं दिया इसका. He said that this is
No
very
needs, no, it's
no
a
need
direct
explanation.
it's direct explain.
Direct.
Means it is given in book also, everything 80-20 with Pareto.
Customer had issues an RFP. This is called as request for proposal. Okay, request for proposal for the people who, this all is covered in the procurement chapter. So word will be known to you. 6 months ago, अरे बाप रे, so long. Okay, and your proposal was selected based on the number of years of your company has been in business as well as company's project management capability. The request for proposal included requirements and your proposal outlined the work to be done by your company to meet the requirement. Your team determined that the product is cutting edge and therefore new standard and processes for the development in the product were created. In order to ensure these standards and processes are effective, which technique should you plan to use? Process analysis, change request, quality audit, and process improvement.
No, customer had issued the
लंबा चौड़ा है text.
request for proposal 6 months ago, and your proposal was selected based on the number of years your company has been in the business as well as your company's
It could be 4.
Anushri, you are saying 4, na? Even I was thinking 4. But हम लोग, Anushri, before we go ahead and freeze that, we should go ahead and delete whatever is wrong, so that we don't get into that trap. Is that making sense, Anushri?
Yes, I have done that, sir.
Change request तो नहीं होगा ना. Change request is not, because there is question of change request. So
Process analysis भी नहीं होगा because we will be adding new processes or improving processes.
But why not analyze the process as well? I mean, if I do the devil's advocate role here, Anushri.
Because you're saying the product is cutting edge and therefore new standards and processes for development are required.
Development, okay. तो आप क्या process analysis करेगा? That's true.
So
Quality
existing
audit
process,
also will be the later thing because nothing is implemented. So what remains?
existing process को top up करेंगे new processes से.
Yeah. So everyone agrees to Anushri process improvement?
Yes.
Yes.
Prince, ये याद कर, वो उसके यहाँ पे 2 बजे
Yes, sir.
तो
No,
ये
but
लड़की गलत बात कर सकती है 2 बजे।
in the question, if you see,
So उस पे ज्यादा
Sir,
भरोसा मत
I
करो।
think it should be quality
we
audit.
no, in the questions you see the cutting edge and therefore new standard and
yeah.
process to be development.
She has given a good justification दिया है उसने अनुप्रिया ने मुझे।
Quality audit and process analysis
बाद में
are
होगा, that's what she
Quality
said.
audit.
indicating towards evaluating the existing processes. However, the question says that we need new standards and processes for the development. That could only be done during the improvement process, where we take a portion of existing one and add a new one on top of that.
Standard for the development of the were created in order to
Second thing
ensure
is
that
also
the
saying in
standards
the
are
order of ensure
effective.
these standard and process are effectively.
Implemented
I
अगर
think it
बोलता है
should
ना
be
तो चेंज
quality
रिक्वेस्ट हो
audit.
जाता है। In order to ensure that these standards are implemented, है ना, तो चेंज रिक्वेस्ट भी हो सकता था, but these processes are effective. So sounds like this is okay. अगर ये
No, I
राइट हुआ
think
तो हम सब लोग राइट है, गलत हुआ तो
नहीं
अनुश्री के यहाँ पे 2 बजा इसलिए गलत हुआ, चलो छोड़ो।
First or
नहीं
for both
संजय
में
हाँ, yes, I have not
संजय
ticked it, don't worry. Yes, Abhishek.
No, see, process improvement is something that where we have already inbuilt process, and then we have something, okay, now it's not going good, and then we are trying to improve it. But this
process
project is not
analysis.
started till yet,
हाँ, ये सब प्रपोजल
right?
RFP में ही हो तुम अभी,
हाँ,
हाँ।
प्रपोजल में है, और then we
तो
have
फिर चेंज
given,
रिक्वेस्ट भी नहीं
okay,
आएगा ना रे?
No,
नहीं
sir.
नहीं
Change
change request नहीं,
request
इसमें
भी नहीं
quality
आएगा.
audit basically ना।
हाँ,
Even quality audit
ऑडिट
also
भी
will have
Quality
to.
पोस्ट वाला ही रहेगा ना रे अभिषेक, जो प्रोसेस
Yes.
ही चल रही है उसका ऑडिट क्या
which
करता है?
technique should you plan to use? I
Process
mean, in near
analysis.
future, what would be the technique that we can use to fulfill जो भी हमने उनको बोला है कि ये हम सब नई चीज आपको करके देंगे, these are the new standards and processes of all these things. तो अभी तो इम्प्रूवमेंट की तो हम बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं। चेंज रिक्वेस्ट भी तभी आएगा जब हम कोई चीज चेंज करने की बात कर रहे हैं।
करेक्ट, एग्जैक्टली।
प्रोसेस भी हम लोग एनालिसिस नहीं कर रहे हैं, देन
I
तो
have an
टेक्निक
का
शुड
example
सवाल
in
बी
my
नहीं,
क्वालिटी
mind.
ऑडिट।
between C and D. Yes,
ओके, माय वोट इज फॉर
there
सी
was
बेसिकली।
some lady something was saying.
I was saying I am just thinking this question in terms of an example. If that can justify, let's say, I am a company A, I am making a car, let's say Swift,
Hmm.
and now I have got a project and I have to make a premium car
Hmm.
within the same company. Let's say Swift and Swift X.
New standard and
X is
process, ठीक है?
premium. So what will I do in this case?
That's what. Look at it. The examples will bring you two different answers. Let's check this once and hey, wrong.
Oh,
Change request and process improvement are not the technique,
technique.
although both of really are there. Process analysis focus on identifying the improvement might be needed in the process. So
Process analysis
process analysis पे गया
I
जो
was
हमने
targeting.
बिल्कुल
Yeah.
पहले इसमें ही निकाल दिया था. So I think we went wrong. So process analysis here.
Yeah, this should be the answer actually.
ये क्या
But
कर
this
रहा है
is
ये?
also this is
बट ये नहीं, इसको भी wrong बोला.
then Abhishek was right. Quality audit.
No,
Can we check
I think it
books
कहाँ
should
पर
be
for
है?
this?
हाँ,
process
quality audit should be planned.
process analysis.
अच्छा, okay. So who it was Abhishek who was saying that.
Yeah, Abhishek.
अभी अभिषेक का लगा कि देखते यहाँ पे अब हम लोग थोड़ा
Quality audit second one, sir.
उसने लिखा ही था ना शायद आंसर में. तो
Yes.
अभी ना इसका मतलब क्या होता है मालूम है क्या? एक अभिषेक को छोड़ के सब लोगों को कॉफी की सख्त जरूरत है. इज दैट राइट?
Correct, sir.
I mean, don't worry. The
मेरे को भी है।
questions on
But
Love
audit will
PMP.
come after the project, right? Here we are
That's what was
specifically
our logic.
RFP is
Correct.
there. So this was making conflict. That's
Conflict.
the reason.
Anyway,
No.
ये टाइप का होता है and particularly low PMP पे this I use it because these are little थोड़े ज्यादा ही tricky है इसके question. Not necessarily that this is reflecting the real thing. And real thing में I don't get scared of a difficulty level. I get scared of the confusing wording. So that is there a lot into low PMP. But doesn't matter. I always say that कि tournament के लिए prepare होना है तो face good bowlers as well as face some bad bowlers, who are pathetically bad bowler, because preparation थोड़ा ज्यादा कर लेगा और कुछ नहीं है. This debate, while you have gone wrong, it does not mean it has created good amount of debate there. ये debate आपको करना पड़ेगा अनुप्रिता, but sorry Anushri, are you getting this point? in the classroom, I normally encourage ये क्यों होगा क्यों नहीं होगा ये आपको करना पड़ेगा. You will have to do it yourself when you are solving your mock papers. Are you getting this point?
Right, sir.
Yeah,
इसमें सर
Ritesh,
इस
आप
क्वेश्चन
कुछ
में
बोल
ना
रहे थे.
इस क्वेश्चन में एक्चुअली ये थर्ड लाइन पे ही इसका आंसर बताया हुआ था सर.
Correct.
You and the
कौन सा
team
line?
is determined that the product is cutting edge and therefore
New
the new
standard
standards
and
and the process. Yeah, here is the
not
end
for
actually.
development. नहीं हम लोग रितेश मैं सोच रहा था क्वालिटी ऑडिट इज वेयर यू हैव ऑलरेडी डिफाइंड प्रोसेसेस ऑन थिंग. आर यू कंप्लाइंग टू दैट? उसके लिए मैं क्वालिटी ऑडिट करता था. न्यू डिफाइन करना है तो आई वुड हैव थॉट प्रोसेस इंप्रूवमेंट एंड दैट्स व्हाट was our logic there. But anyway, let's not worry too much around it. A break for 18 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
So 11:50, we'll meet and take the resource as a chapter, which is still thrilling, interesting. Yes, Prince, you want to say something?
No, no, no.
Okay. Chalo, to break up to 11:50, around 18 minutes.